On today's episode of the Fumblerooski podcast, we get into our off-season preview, top free agents to look out for, and how the top 5 in the draft could shake up along with top teams in salary caps. See what the big moves are, see what the big trade destinations could be. This is the Fumblerooski podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome to the Fumblerooski podcast by Power 8018 Radio and Secret Weapon Consulting. We got CJ and we got Tuck in the stew today. Well, CJ, you weren't here on Tuesday's episode, so I want to give you
I had to. I was in Delaware for the Super Bowl, and I was driving up, or driving, where I wasn't driving, but I was going back, and by the time you were recording, I was in that hellscape called Connecticut.
That's all right. So I'll give you an opportunity to give your thoughts on the Super Bowl, but nothing past Monday. I want to get to that in this afterwards.
Nothing ever happens. I mean, I predicted it. Of course, I'm getting crap for predicting it. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about Pats fans I know in general were giving me grief for predicting a Seahawks win. My friends who listen to the show are saying it, and I'm just like, well, shut up. I mean, it is what it is. It sucks, but that's just how it is. I am a little concerned for Drake May. And look, it's all about confidence. His confidence, he was seeing ghosts. He got rattled. That defense scared him. And you see him just sitting in the pocket like a deer in headlights getting happy feet. And the stat about how quarterbacks that lose their Super Bowl debut never win one. Except for I think it's John Elway, Jalen Hurts, maybe there's one more. So that's concerning. They have a fair amount of cap space this offseason. So as a fan, maybe they do something. I prefer they do. Please don't do the Belichick, or please don't go to the Bill Belichick school of doing nothing. The Seahawks, I was looking at their free agents, and there's a lot of really important people Reek Wooling, Kenneth Walker, Rashid Shaheed that they're going to have to lock up, and they have a lot of cap space to do it. So the only red flag is Kubiak leaving. I think JSN's going to be fine, but a small part of me does worry for Darnold, because if Darnold struggles out of the gate next year, then I can already hear, Kubiak merchant, even though I think he wouldn't deserve that title unless he really falls off, which I don't think he will. So there's that. But yeah, congrats to the Seahawks. I think they were just the more talented team. That's really what it came down to. Defense saved them. Also, low key, I feel like their kicker should have gotten MVP. That would have been funny, but I digress.
We were saying he was second in Super Bowl MVP voting by the time
he should have gotten it. It would have been funny. Although K9's a beast.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker, I think, was plus 200 to win Super Bowl MVP, and Jason Myers was plus 600 in second.
Okay.
The fact that was the closest one to Kenneth Walker kind of says a lot about how that game went. Yeah. But
although maybe it's just because I'm a Pats fan, but there's also a legitimate case that Gonzo was the best player on the field.
Oh yeah,
that is the one thing I can say about that Pats team. He put JSN in a box. I don't think I have ever seen Jackson Smith and Jigba get strapped up like that for an entire game.
Yeah.
So do with that what you will.
Yeah, I think if you were to look at that game in general, Kenneth Walker and Christian Gonzalez both deserve to get extensions. Those were the two guys. Those were the two notable guys that I was give him an extension and give him an extension.
Yeah, and I will tell you though, this for me definitely puts Gonzo if anyone. I'm sorry. I definitely think at this point he's better than Witherspoon, ironically, on the Seahawks. Because, we compare that draft class a lot. And this definitely put him in, slam dunk top 3 corner in the league.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Tuck, would you agree top 3? You're muted. Come on, man. What are we doing here?
Gonzo top 3. I could see the argument based upon his Super Bowl play. It's definitely an argument. I see an argument for J.C. Horn. I see an argument for a couple of guys, but I'm not going to argue it now. I think he is a top 3 corner right now after what he just displayed in the Super Bowl. When you needed him most, he delivered.
Yeah.
So,
Of course, the O-line didn't, but honestly, they're here nor there.
Yeah, and obviously when you look at the statistics that Drake May had this playoffs, they weren't pretty, and you look at the sack total, and it's no wonder why. I mean, that Drake May had such shitty
Did he
stats.
tie or break the unfortunate, and I'll use the term loosely, record of Joe Burrow getting sacked the most in a single
No.
postseason run?
He did not. I don't
it's
think.
at 6, isn't it? It would have tied for 7, but they got 6.
No, I just meant like total, like in a single run. Like how many? Because I saw that graphic on, I think it was during the Super Bowl. So I don't know.
Either way, then news came out that they basically had to shoot up Drake May's shoulder before the game. So it makes you wonder if his shoulder was worse off than we probably thought. But I'm not really going to blame Drake May's shoulder for how that
really
came.
can't.
You really can't. When he actually had like an extra second to get rid of the ball, there was a couple really bad misses. But like I said, you can't fault for that.
Wait, was that like actually like confirmed that they had to shoot up his shoulder?
I think so.
Because looking at how he played and now knowing that, like low key, you can make an argument that if it were like the regular season, he might have like missed a game or something if it's that bad. Like, I'm about it.
But like I said, I'm not blaming it on his shoulder.
No, you can't. No. If anything, it was the O-line, but
and then what?
I would say, speaking of injuries.
Will Campbell, basically talking about him tearing his ligament in his knee, which we had already known about the MCL, which is why he missed the most of the back half of the season. But obviously it affected him. Obviously a rookie coming back from what probably could have been season-ending MCL tear or whatever.
Probably should have been.
Yeah, and it's a rookie coming back into a high-stress situation for 4 straight games. 4 games.
By the way, sorry.
No, you're good. You can go.
I just wanted to say the reason I mentioned, speaking of injuries and with Will Campbell, did you see the sacks regular season versus postseason when he came back from his injury?
I did not.
So I need you to hear this. Ready?
Yeah.
Will Campbell allowed only 5 sacks the entire regular season when he was healthy. He allowed 4 during the playoffs. He had 26 pressures total in the regular season when he was healthy, 19 in the playoffs in those 4 games. His pass plot grade for Pro Football Focus, which I know, like I say all the time, we like to rip on them, but they're the really only accurate way to judge an O-lineman, was a 76.1, which is like really good to above average. And then it dropped to a 34.7 in the playoffs. And the allowed pressure rate went from a 5.8 to a 12.3. It is very clear that this probably should have been a season-ending injury.
Yeah. Yep. It's unfortunate.
We threw it.
Yep. And Adam was making the point that they should bring in somebody else and make it a competition, or just move Will Campbell to guard. Which evidently, funny enough, the next day Mike Vrabel comes out and is like, "Nope, he's our left tackle. We're sticking with him."
I mean, I don't hate the idea of competition. I know their backup Vidarian Lowe's a free agent, and I never thought I'd say this, but with the new OL coach being Doug Marrone, Vidarian Lowe has been passable, so definitely keep him around as a depth piece. But what would you? Yeah, I know. Laugh it up, Tuck.
No, because Adam said the same thing on Tuesday.
And he's right. Like Vidarian Lowe, when you gave him a good offensive line coach and Doug Marrone, he's not a world beater, but he at least belongs on an NFL team. The thing with Will Campbell is, I don't know, even like against Max Crosby and Myles Garrett, he was getting ragdolled, but it's also Max Crosby and Myles Garrett. So I don't know. There was a very clear drop-off after he got hurt, and it probably should have been the end of the season. The only thing that concerns me is, I know it doesn't mean anything, but just walk with me, will you, is the optics. If you spend a top 5 pick on a guard, that's a really, really bad look, except for that one time when the Colts drafted Quentin Nelson, who at the time, we were like, okay, that could be like a future Hall of Famer right there,
Mhm.
So do with that what you will.
Yeah. I think the only real other thing I wanted to point out too, like mention the Seahawks and how amazing their roster is, but like they fucking watched film. I don't know if you guys saw the NFL Films clip, and it was oh fuck, what's his face? Whoever picked Drake May off, was the first
Julian Love?
What? Yeah, Julian Love.
Yeah.
It was right before that, like drive before that, he almost picked him off on like basically the same exact play that would later get him an interception. And he's on the sideline. He's like, literally, this is what he's doing. And like, this is what he's going to do. And the next one's mine. And what he explained was how Drake May basically already knew like where he wanted to go with the football because of what he's seeing pre-snap. And once he hits the last step of that drop, he kind of pauses a second before making his decision to throw the ball. He's just making sure that he's open before actually throwing the ball. And then after that, it's coming out.
Yeah, that's just some smart field reading right there, I reckon.
Yeah,
especially at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially at that point of the game when you're getting pressured all day and that internal clock just speeds up on you, which isn't a bad thing if it's, you're going quick passing, but at that point of the game when you need to get the ball down the field, you're prone to throw the ball around a little bit. I guess the last thing, the fun thing, I guess, is Stephon Diggs and Cardi B breaking up.
That I wouldn't say that's fun.
No, is that like proven? I know they unfollowed each other, but has it actually like?
I guess the rumor is that Stephon Diggs invited another baby mama to get front row seats at the Super Bowl, and Cardi B was pissed about it.
Jesus,
that's the story.
You don't play like that, Stephon.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know he's a great locker room guy.
He's
for
a terrible
New
person
England,
now.
But like between like the constant baggage that he's always in the news, he's a bit of a character, and the the whole thing with his off-season troubles or off-field troubles, and the fact that I believe his contract isn't out after one season.
It does.
Like, I wouldn't be shocked if New England moves on from him. And honestly, I honestly don't want that because like you can't take away Drake May's wide receiver one. This is a team that routinely cheaps out at wide receiver one. Is like, you'll have a bunch of twos and you'll like it because we expect everyone to be Tom Brady. Like, unless you are going to trade for AJ Brown or something like that, then you got to keep him because these good morals and image that they don't win football games.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, in terms of Diggs, like this season, yeah, he cracked it. I made this point on Tuesday. Like, yeah, he cracked 1,000 yards, but he like kind of barely cracked 1,000. And the games he showed up for the game against Buffalo, and he showed up in the game against Baltimore, and really like, and those two games were two of the best games that the Pats played all season. But outside of that, he didn't put up that many great performances, and Bills fans have saw this year in and year out in the playoffs. Diggs is a no-show.
Yeah.
It was a no-show this playoff run. So at the same time,
you move on from. I guess the thing is, what's the solution? The thing is, when you move on from players, like you need to have an idea of where you're going to go. Like you need a clear-cut replacement in mind. And I don't trust New England. Look, I love Vrabel, but it gets to a point where it's less about the current regime, more about New England historically. Even when they had Bill, even before Bill, and even before Kraft, they were never a team that valued the elite game-breaking wide receiver one. And honest to God, I don't trust them to do that because New England historically, especially in recent vintage, has been always the bridesmaid, never the bride. When the big receiver sweepstakes for someone, they're always runner-up. Like they keep swinging and missing. Their trades keep getting rejected. In many cases, the receivers just say, I don't want to be there. So but you almost kind of have to stick with Diggs. I mean, you could call it the sunk cost fallacy if you wanted, but I don't know. Like, I don't think and I don't trust them to, even with Vrabel, I don't trust them to draft one either. Like, hell, they could somehow go back in time and grab Jerry Rice and he'd still probably struggle, So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to rock the boat is all I'm saying.
The other thing you gotta think too is like, do you have enough faith to have Booty, Pop, and all the other and Kyle to develop into that? Like, can Booty develop into wide receiver one? Can Pop develop into the number 2 slot threat? Can Kyle Williams develop into low end 2, high end 3 deep threat? Like, that's kind of what you're banking on if you do get rid of Diggs. But at the same time, like I said, like, if you have Diggs, like, yeah, he's gonna be there for a couple games, but outside of that, like, he's just he's just another body that you can throw it up to and hope to come down with.
You guys still have a wild card. Efton Chisholm.
Afton Chisholm.
Yeah.
Well, that's when he's actually made active.
Yeah. Also, I guess there's Mac Hollins too. He's a good 50-50
But he's
guy.
also but he's old. Mac Hollins is old too.
I always forget that. Yeah, but
I mean,
I don't know. Like, they need the fact that this has been the problem that has been plaguing New England since like 2018. They won their most recent Super Bowl against the Rams. That they have receivers that on a good day are like a high end 2. Maybe Jules, you could argue, is a low end 1. I do respect Jules like that. He was nice with it. He was. But when you have that, right? And you do not ever splurge on like a true number 1, and you continually just whiff either in the draft or trying to acquire one via trade or free agency, it gets to a point where it's just like, you can't rock the boat. I'm not saying they need to be gun shy, but I think they know that there's starting to be a narrative about it, and I don't trust them to get one. And like I said, like, I guess my thing for a fan is like, what's it going to take? Like, this has been a problem for years, and the receivers, none of them could get any separation in the Super Bowl. I mean, Collinsworth even said the defensive backs for Seattle, and I quote, were just crushing them. They just got out physical. They were getting bumped off their routes. And look, yes, Pats fans, I know Seattle committed a lot of blatant PI. Like, I know they were really getting grabby the whole game, but you can't rely on the officials to bail you out there, even if they were grabby. But still, that doesn't explain why they got out physical either. So, like, at this point, like, you have to make a real, genuine, concerted, deliberate effort to acquire what we call a game-breaking wide receiver 1. Like a Higgins, not a Higgins, like a Chase, a Jefferson. I'm not saying trade for them, like, develop your own or do something, because it's getting to be a problem.
They could just trade for Alec Pierce, the Colts wide receiver.
He's going to be a free agent.
Adam was making that take on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what Adam wants, but I'm not sure you guys will.
I'm not sure Pierce. I like Pierce, and I get where he's coming from, and I agree. I just don't know if he's like a high end number 1.
Do you guys have a choice?
But that's the other thing, is that, like, he has the potential for it, and we get him on the low. I'm just regurgitating Adam's argument, but
how are you going to get Pierce on the low? Like, I don't understand that. If anything, he's going to get overpaid on the market because this receiver free agent class isn't great.
Good point. But
I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe I'm not saying this will happen, but imagine you guys traded for Justin Jefferson.
I would cry happy tears, but it's not going to happen.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I don't see Minnesota doing anything, and I think sooner or later he'll just be annoyed by the lacking of like quarterback play. So I think he'll ask for a trade in like a year or two if this keeps up.
I think I said that on the show. I don't know if you were there, but I said, like, I know there are whispers that Jefferson's starting to get upset, but I could see, like, maybe give it another year and he might actually try to demand a trade. Maybe.
That's what
JJ McCarthy figures his shit out.
That's what the Squawking Eagles guys were saying too. Whereas, like, wouldn't be surprised. They were saying, like, they wouldn't be surprised if Jettis is on the move or if he asked for one.
And now I think about with Alec Pierce, there's a real shot he just gets tagged too. you know?
Yeah. Well, that was the
That's
other thing
something
is
that's
like
not
you tag them, which means that like they tag him and then Pats try to trade for him. Then you already have him for a year on the average salary and then extend him afterwards.
You already know my stance on this, Chris.
Yeah. Nothing ever happens.
No. Not that. I just meant about tag and trades. I've said it before.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you have like a predetermined deal worked out, you never do a tag and trade.
Yeah. All right. Oh, that's right. Forgot to ask CJ about his thoughts on Bad Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any. I said it before, I'll say it again. I don't care. And it's not even because of him. And I know some stupid randos gonna bitch at me online and be like, oh my God, it's this, you're that, you're whatever. I just don't really watch the halftime show at all, regardless of the year. I think I've only ever watched and paid attention to 2 in my entire however long I've been alive years on this earth. You know, like I don't really ever watch the halftime show, so I don't know. Nothing really changed. I mean, maybe it was good, maybe it wasn't. I never watched the halftime show. I mean, good for him. I'm sure a lot of performers have a dream artists have a dream to do the halftime show. So good for him, man.
Yeah. We touched on this on Tuesday as well. And basically the main talking point was, we're not there to watch the halftime show. We're there to watch football. So we also don't really care either. Super Bowl commercials. We were saying that they suck now, outside of the Budweiser commercial and,
the Budweiser commercial, that was cool. The Peyton Manning, Shane Gillis beer commercial made me chuckle a bit. The one with Keegan-Michael Key for insurance living on a prayer, I liked that. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
There's another one.
That State Farm commercial, they fucking blew a bag on that.
Yeah, but so I liked it. I thought it was funny. I actually can't really remember a lot of them now that I think about it. I mean, they weren't bad. Like last year, the commercials were like offensively bad. This year, they were forgettable, which I guess is a step in the right direction. But there was an ad for Nerds Gummy Clusters that sticks out in my head because, you got all the little mascots running around, all CGI'd and stuff around this older dude who I can't say it on the show, but rewatch that commercial and tell me he doesn't look like a certain somebody.
I mean, we're not hampered down by anything, so I think we could say it. CJ thinks
he looked like Epstein. Like, honest to God, when I saw that commercial, I was on my phone. I was texting some of my friends, and out of the corner of my eye, I had to do a double take. I was like, wait, is that? No, it can't be. Then I look closely. It's like, oh, okay. And the thing is, I'm not the only one. I have seen people online saying that when they first saw it, they thought it was Epstein on that Nerds Gummy Clusters commercial. And every time I rewatch it, because I found it on YouTube and I'm like, okay, am I crazy? It's like, no. So I sent to some of my friends. They've never been on the show, so their names would mean nothing to you listeners. Their names are Dylan and Tom. And I said, okay, fellas, I need a verdict here. And they agreed. So I don't know. And the memes have been too. I think NFL Memes IG might have done something about it, or another NFL meme page said something. So it's not me. It's not me.
Yeah. All in all, I thought there was too much AI, but all right. Let's get into off-season preview. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get into that. Cap space, salary, free agents, you name it. Draft picks. This is the Fumblerooski podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome back to the Fumblerooski podcast. Let's get into the off-season preview. What do you guys want to touch on first?
Anything for that matter.
Anything? All right, let's look at cap space, free agency. All right. So before we get into top free agents to probably look out for, top 5 in the draft, right? Or top 5 in the draft. top 5 in terms of cap space right now: the Titans, the Raiders, the Jets, the Chargers, and the Seahawks. And that's right. The top 3 in that cap space also have 3 of the top 5 picks in the draft. Tennessee and Vegas getting hooked up with new head coaches. Vegas getting Clint Kubiak, and Tennessee getting Robert Saleh. And both those guys have the top 2 most cap space in the league to work with. So that should be interesting to see how that plays out. And outside of the rumors of Max Crosby wanting to play for the Patriots and Mike Vrabel and potential trade, which could get another large contract off the books to free up even more space. These two teams, they can probably have some fun this offseason. They could probably have some fun, but I guess that's the other thing is, are you willing to go play for Vegas and Tennessee? How attractive is Vegas and Tennessee?
I think Tennessee's more better looking than the Raiders right now. I know the Raiders are going to get their franchise quarterback, but I think the line, and since they already have their franchise quarterback and they have a few quality pieces, I think it's just better for them all around. I know they still have a top. Where are the Tennessee Titans? But let's just say, for the sake of argument, top 10 in the draft.
Yeah,
top
they are top 10
Yeah.
in the draft. I promise you. I think they're pick 4.
Yeah, so they still have a good draft pick. They still have cap space, and I think just overall the team might be a bit better. I think they're going to focus heavily on the offensive line and try to give Cam Ward some weapons to work with, especially in the running game, because, dear Lord, I think the defense obviously needs some work, but they still have Jeffrey Simmons, so at least they have something to start with. Oh, no, I just think it's more attractive, especially when I saw the Raiders play last year, and we were all, disgusted by the way they were playing. I know we were disappointed in the way they played against Dallas during Monday night. We were upset at the way they played against the Broncos, Thursday night?
Yes, 10-7.
Just 2 bad games all around that they could have won, but just weren't able to convert. And it's like, all in all, I think the Raiders, I think they could make a few splashes here and there this offseason, but in order for them to trade Max Crosby, I think they would have to get another player in return, including 2 first-round picks. So I think they're trying to fix their offensive line, which has been a major problem, especially since they can't get anything going with Ashton Genty. So, yeah, I think Tennessee's more good, is better looking as a destination than Las Vegas, but it's still Las Vegas, so big market.
Yeah. CJ, got any thoughts on that? Any response?
Well, as far as overall cap space goes, I assume we're going to do it like we did last year, where we go cap space, then free agent players in the draft. The Titans and the Raiders, the one thing to be concerned about, and all these numbers are coming from overthecap.com, is there is this very real phenomenon for bad teams in free agency. You guys have heard of it. It's called the suck tax. And if you think they're not going to have to pay an ungodly level suck tax, you are wrong. I don't care if their head coaches are Robert Saleh and Clint Kubiak. The suck tax is very real, and it's coming for them. But they have enough money to the point where it won't matter. The Titans, once again, per over the cap, have $104.7 million, and the Raiders have $91.5 million. So I can't, I can't be super doom and gloom. But what's interesting are the other teams in the top 10 when it comes to cap space. A lot of them are playoff teams. The LA Chargers have $83.5 million. The reigning champs, Seattle Seahawks, have $72.2 million. Well, to be fair, they have a lot of free agents, so they're going to need it.
Yeah, they have a lot of guys they need to resign or think about resigning, starting with Kenneth Walker.
Yeah. The Steelers have $44.9 million, and the Patriots have $41.5 million. So you have a lot of good teams that do have a fair amount of money that they could use to improve. So, hey, do with that what you will, man. That I definitely think that's going to be something to look out for. And on the other end of the spectrum, I have to bring this up. It's of the utmost importance. You know who has the least amount?
Kansas City.
Oh, yeah. Once again, per over the cap, negative 54.9 million. And I don't know if you've seen who they have for free agents. They've got guys like Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, and like a few pieces on defense. I look at this and I'm like, well, what are you going to do? And like half their team is going to be headed for the open market. So I don't know. And I feel like, and I know the Chiefs are saying, oh, we're confident Kelce's going to be back. If you think Travis Kelce is going to take a hometown discount, you are wrong. You are very wrong, in fact. So
I wouldn't even say a hometown discount. Like, let's not even think about that. When you are this deep in the negatives and cap space, you essentially had to think you're going to have to blow it all up, especially with the season you just had.
Yeah,
so,
well, Eric
never
Bieniemy,
mind.
maybe it turns around, but Mahomes might not even be ready for week 1.
He'll be ready for week 1.
He tore 2 ligaments, man. Come on. If it was just an ACL, I'd say maybe, but it's like an ACL and MCL as well. Furthermore, other teams in the red, the Minnesota Vikings at negative 40.1 million, and everyone's favorite, the Dallas Cowboys at 29.1 million in the red. So the Cowboys are a team that need to improve. Will they? The Vikings, I think, are a team that's good already. They just need JJ McCarthy to figure everything out.
Cowboys are interesting. Wanted to finish up the Kelce point real quick. Never mind the hometown discount. At Kelce's age, I don't think he's going to want to stick around for a rebuild, even because at that point he has max 2 years left. And yeah, but the Cowboys, interesting because like it sounds like they've already committed to trying to re-sign George Pickens already, who's a free agent this year.
I don't know. Like, it sounds like it, but at the same time, they sounded committing to getting Micah Parsons, and you saw how that went. So they say they're trying. Yeah, they'll say they're trying, but are they actually trying, or are they just stalling, or they're trying to trade him? It's like,
depends on what Jerry Jones feels that day, honestly. Have his meds kicked in yet? I feel like that's the big question.
Does he really want to reset the market again and make him the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL? That's what you got to ask yourself.
They can't do that. Look,
yes,
he had they had a monster year, but not George Pickens. I can't see a world where he's wide receiver numero uno in the big NFL.
And right now, they need to fix their cap space before they can even offer it because they're in the negative anyhow. So.
Oh, yeah, negative 29.1 once again per over the cap. So other teams, in case you were wondering, that are in the negatives, the Packers and the Texans are both negative 1 million. That's easy to get out of. Negative 5, the Bears. So that's something, the Bears are an up-and-coming team. They don't exactly have a lot of mobility, so we'll see. The Bills are at negative 7.5, and that's iffy because they're another team that needs to improve. The Saints, they're in cap hell to the surprise of literally nobody who watches football, but they are only negative 6 million. So they're getting there. Mickey Loomis is slowly unscrewing everything. The Detroit Lions, negative 8. That's concerning because they're another team that has to change. And here's another team that we view as an up and comer for contenders, right? The Jaguars, they're negative 11. So I'm not anticipating any splashes. And this is funny. The Miami Dolphins are at negative 16 million. And it's probably going to be worse once they offload Tua Tagovailoa.
Who's going to take him, though?
Who knows? Oh, and allegedly Miami has told prospective teams that they would be willing to eat like part of his deal as well to make a trade work.
I was about to say, there's no way out of it. I was about to say, there's no way out of Tua without eating some sort of cash.
And what are they going to do with Tyreek Hill as well? Miami's
that's true. They might actually. There was a rumor. I'll try to find it. I saw it on JPA Football that he might not even play next year, Tyreek Hill, because you got to remember, it's not like it's as simple as he tore something. His knee exploded.
Yeah,
for lack of a better term. Also, Kevin Patullo is apparently the Miami passing game coordinator, so it's not like Miami was going to do anything anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I found the report. Tom Pelissero says it remains unclear if Tyreek Hill will be healthy enough to even play next season. And also, how do you like that? Imagine being a team that just doesn't have playoff aspirations and you know you're not going to be good, but you're also in cap hell, so you can't change. That's got to be the worst feeling.
Oh, so low-key, I'm looking at Tyreek Hill's stats. If he never plays another down again, he might have a Hall of Fame case.
He probably will. Media is going to make him wait due to his off-the-field nonsense, though.
Well, it helps that he has a ring and he has
Over 11,000 yards. And
one or two Offensive Player of the Year awards.
I think he has one to be sure of.
Yeah, I know.
Nope, he finished second. He finished second.
Hold on, I have his accolades right in front of me. He's a 5-time first, no OPOYs granted, but he's a Super Bowl champ. He's a 5-time first team All-Pro and an 8-time Pro Bowler. And he has led the league in receiving yards at least once, and he's part of the 2010s All-Decade team. And in 2016, he was part of the All-Rookie team. So,
I just remembered the reason why he doesn't have an Offensive Player of the Year award is because of Cooper Kupp.
Yes.
That's coming back to me now.
Oh, wait. No, because in 23, he had a better season.
Who did he lose to in that year then?
That's what I'm trying to. 23? 23. It wasn't Lamar, so was it McCaffrey?
Yeah, it had to have been McCaffrey because no. Fuck. Now we look like idiots.
It is McCaffrey, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
because that was the year that he scored like a touchdown in every single game for like 13 straight weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I was about to say, but he did finish number 1 in the top 100 players voted on by the NFL players. Yeah. Not much. It's an accomplishment within itself to be voted as number 1 by your peers.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh no, he is a Hall of Famer, but as far as like Miami's situation, it doesn't look all that good.
Yeah.
It might actually be over for them, honest to God.
Yeah, I know.
Hold on, let me see something. Where does Miami pick in the draft?
Mid-tier, because you got to remember they beat up on injured teams halfway through the year, and I think they're pick number 11.
They are. They really should have been like top 5, like borderline top 5 team in the draft, and they end up just like getting on a run after they benched Tua.
Yeah. Well, Greasy Mike McDaniel tried to play hero, and look where that ended up.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Unless they're trying to tell me they're going to draft a quarterback this year, which would be ridiculous because
I feel like you got
to the Raiders.
You got to see where you're at with Quinn Ewers. I feel like that's where you got to go right now.
Texas.
But if you can't beat out Tua, then that's the issue within itself.
But he played better than Tua, so
I don't know.
Miami's screwed regardless. That much we can agree on.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
sorry, I wanted to. I wanted to get to some of the top free agents that are available for this offseason. Trey Hendrickson, probably the most notable just because of everything that's happened between him and the Bengals the last, 2-3 years. Feels like it's been since the Super Bowl run that this story has been a thing. But he's currently up right now, and his current market value is at 25.5. CJ's been using over the cap. I'm on Spot Track right now. I'm a Spot Track guy.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. 2 to 1. Get fucked, buddy.
I can't even say my response because I'll get thrown off the show.
It's all right.
I'm like, all right. Where do you think Hendrickson will go?
You want to know where he's going to go? I'll tell you. He's going to get tagged. Have you seen that? No. Talk. Listen. There are rumors So first of all, let's backtrack. You know what happened last year, right? There was
Yes.
that whole holdout, and they said, if we give you like more money this year, will you at least play? And then they said, okay, then next year you can just leave and we'll let you. The Bengals might actually go back on their word and tag him. The Bengals, I say, look, I know you don't want to lose him for nothing, but if you do that, no free agent, or at least no one good's going to want to go there if they see this is how you treat your players. The Bengals genuinely might backstab him, and there are whispers he might get tagged again. And honest to God, if he does, then just hold out. Like, just don't play, because the Bengals are an incompetent organization led by a failed owner. So
I'm not sure he can do that because he's 31. Do you think he can hold out another year and
he
still
has
be
made
that
an
guy?
obscene amount of money. He can retire for all I care.
He can retire, but I still think he's chasing. I think he's chasing a ring, and I know he won't get that in Cincinnati. I think he can go to the Packers and get significant playing time there.
That would be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous.
I know it's going to be. I know it's not going to be like 29 million, but if he went there, that would be a problem because I don't think there would be as much pressure on Micah, and he can actually, heal up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that would be ridiculous.
That would be a nice tandem with what they have, so they don't have to be so over reliant on Micah to get a pass rush.
I was gonna say, like, maybe you could probably, like, I think you said it though. Like, he's most likely gonna be chasing a ring because he's 31. He's not getting any younger, and the youngest team in the league right now, or going into next season, currently, is also the team that has the most cap space, the Tennessee Titans. So maybe you get a guy like Hendrickson, a veteran guy that's made a Super Bowl run, and try to help lead this team out of whatever the fuck they're in right now. But at the same time, he's 31. So I think Tuck probably has a stronger point to make that he's going to be ring chasing, which also could lead to maybe going to the Chargers because Khalil Mack is also a free agent this offseason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Trey Hendrickson is currently worth more than Khalil Mack. Which the good thing about it, though, is that you would get 3 years younger on that because Khalil Mack's about to turn 35.
Oh, man.
I wish I didn't say that. I wish I didn't say that. That's fucked.
Yeah, but like
Mack
Matt is still like really good though,
I know.
He's still quality, but will he be that way next year if someone signs him? Because it's not going to be a multiple year deal. It's probably going to be a 1 year prove it.
Yeah.
Chance.
I'd still want Khalil on my team.
The other big name that's going to get thrown around, obviously, is Aaron Rodgers, mainly just between him and the Steelers. Mike Evans
retires.
Yeah, he probably should, but it sounds like the Steelers really want him to come back, or at least the players.
Yeah, well, we'll see how he feels about old Kevin McCarthy. Still can't believe it's their head coach.
Mike McCarthy, but yeah.
Mike McCarthy, yeah. Kevin McCarthy, he's a politician. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I got them confused. From one nothing guy to another.
Yeah. I'm kind of just going down the list in terms of last year's AAV. Mike Evans, he's another one that's a free agent. His current market value is 13.3. So with that being said, I feel like that doesn't scream wide receiver one as much, but I guess the question I feel like I'm going to say the Titans a lot today, but I could see the Titans, like that's another veteran guy that I could see the Titans going to pick up, but could also make the same case for Hendrickson. He's old enough where he might be ring chasing.
I don't think Mike Evans is ring chasing. He has one already.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go to the Titans either. And look, maybe it's just because of the memes, but we could fill an entire scrapbook with images of great wide receivers in Titans uniforms at the end of their careers. Guys like Randy Moss, Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins. Hell, you know what? Let's just get Mike Evans to that, because why not? Also, there is a free agent, though, that I think we need to talk about.
Please.
Daniel Jones of the Colts.
Ooh,
I called out before he's hurt, and everyone's like, "Oh, the Colts are going to get him back, and they're going to run it back." That's the overwhelming consensus, that he's going to go back to the Colts, and they're going to pick up where they left off. Am I the only one who doesn't think that?
Where
He
else-
tore his Achilles. And it was a late season injury. So legitimately, he might not play for like the first few months. And on top of that, he broke his his fibula and the other leg too. So he's got two bum legs, bum Achilles, bum fibula, and even still, we saw the signs of decline were even when he was healthy-ish. Because all teams had to do, we saw it, especially like at around the halfway point of the season, was that they would literally just stack the box and make Daniel Jones beat them with his arm, which was something that he struggled with. If Jonathan Taylor wasn't humming, the offense just dried up. And I think he can still be good. I think the analysts need to slow their roll on he's going to come back and they're going to pick up right where they left off.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Gonna have to start learning Riley Leonard, buddy. Which I mean, they basically already did.
Or maybe if Anthony Richardson's orbital bone heals up, which that's brutal. I hope it does. I think he deserves one more shot.
No, I feel like at this point you can't go back to AR. Like
it would be funny. Trust me.
It would be funny.
There's also another defender that you guys are missing here. Devin
I
Lloyd.
think,
Yeah, Devin Lloyd, but I assumed he was going to resign with the Chargers. That's an obvious
Jaguars, but you don't know.
I'm sorry, Jaguars.
Guys, the problem is, like I say this every year only because it's true. The NFL hypes up their free agency frenzy, and like anyone worth a damn gets tagged. Also, I know Chris might want to move us on, but I have a question specifically for Tuck. Only for Tuck. Tyler Linderbaum is a free agent.
I knew this was coming up. I knew this was coming up.
What? No. Okay. I know what you want to happen, but what do you think is going to happen? Because honest to God, I can see him getting tagged, but I don't know if y'all got the money for that. So
it depends on
what do you think is going to happen.
It depends on what we do with Lamar Jackson's contract because we need to extend him this season. If we can extend him, I can see us keeping him. If not, we need to do something, or he'll just sign elsewhere. We're not going to franchise tag him. I don't think. If Lamar Jackson's contract extension doesn't go the way we planned, we might have to get rid of Marlon Humphrey in order to make that work. But I could see him going to the Giants or to the Browns. I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, at least you got like some money to play with. You got $22 million cap going into this offseason, so
yeah. But I feel like we should have more. But Marlon Humphrey, with the season he had last year, is eating up more than he should based upon his play.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Get rid of him.
Yeah.
Trade him or get rid of him. No, respectfully, though. Respectfully. I don't mean it.
Also, there's another quarterback, Malik Willis.
Dolphins.
Because the way he was playing on the Packers, and some would say outshine Jordan Love. I'm not one of them, but a few people have said that. I know there's a home for him in the league to be a stopgap. I don't know where. He's probably one of the hardest ones to really think about as far as how much cash he could grab. But I could see Miami or another team. I could see Arizona too. Because I don't know if you've heard, apparently they're going to move on from Kyler, or at least they really want to.
But like at the same time, how much of that is Matt LaFleur and how much is that like just Malik Willis being a competent backup? Which I think
you've got a point there, but you and I both know a lot of these teams don't consider that.
True. That is very true.
Most of them actually don't consider that.
Yep. Speaking of the Packers, Quay Walker and Trayvon Diggs also up for also going to be free agents as well.
Trayvon Diggs.
Honestly, put him in the tub because he's washed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think
he's like actually washed, and it's kind of like it's unfortunate because he was really electric, man.
Yeah.
Quay Walker, though, that's important.
Yeah. Tuck, is there any other ones that you wanted to hit on?
Anyone in particular, just to make sure I'm not forgetting anyone big.
No, there's actually one, but he's not a household name.
What, Debo?
No. Bears superstar corner Nashawn Wright.
Right.
Because he's not a household name. Hell, I think he even got snubbed Or actually, no. He didn't get snubbed for a Pro Bowl. I think he might have been snubbed for All Pro, though. This guy, think about it. This season, this was his first year as a consistent starter. He started 16 games. In his first year starting, 80 total tackles, even a tackle for loss, and 5 interceptions, along with 11 passes defended. So the thing that, and I've seen a lot of buzz around him, but we've all been fans long enough to know when players have these big breakout years, we have to ask ourselves, can they do it again? Like if you have a career year and a contract year, I think you got to look at it a little funny. But he was a straight gamer last year, though. I could see him going to the Jets. The Jets seem like a team that would spend a lot of money on him.
Speaking of the Jets, Breece Hall's available.
Yes, he is. Yes,
I think he's going to get tagged. I have a feeling. I think he's going to want to leave, but the Jets are going to say, oh, no, we need to cling on to any joy we possibly can.
I mean, I don't think that they're really clinging on to much joy considering that they
need anything. He was their offense last year.
He was
Even when Garrett Wilson was healthy, Breece Hall was their offense.
Yeah.
And I could see him wanting to escape and they just tag him and then it becomes like a whole thing. I want it to be a thing. It would be very funny.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the Jets to just dump off Breece Hall, considering they did so with Sauce Gardner and Leonard Williams, or not Leonard Williams. Help me.
Quinnen Williams?
Quinnen Williams. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Other offseason stuff, potential trades, of course. Is there any, I mean, Max Crosby, we kind of talked about it a little bit before, but,
maybe AJ Brown. That's all I got.
Yeah. I feel like maybe Max Crosby, but AJ Brown's name has been circulating so much throughout the season that it's not hard to be like, hey, maybe he gets traded this offseason. Maybe that happens. What's going to happen? But
yeah, I could definitely see that. There are also a lot of rumors, like I said earlier, about Kyler Murray and Tua Tagovailoa.
Yep. Squawking Eagles guys were very downplaying the whole AJ Brown potentially being traded thing.
Well, I get that. I understand. Also, is this going to be the year Budda Baker finally gets traded? Because he's like on the top of the trade block for like 3 of the last 4 years, and nothing continues to happen. Can something happen? Like at some point, like, have you seen this? Because I'm looking at Spot Track, right, about all the players that could be on the trade block. And these are guys that we've heard of before. Like, like I said, most notably is Budda Baker. Tua, there was already some questions about him. Kyler Murray already had questions about him. AJ Brown now for the second straight year. And I know they won the Super Bowl last year, but there were still persisting rumors. And they keep saying that. And, Max Crosby again, and there were already rumors they were going to trade him last year too. And it gets to the point where I notice nothing ever happens. Like, we got to start noticing here. Like, can something happen, please?
Yeah.
For the entertainment value.
So Micah Parsons just leaving to go to, the Packers doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
Okay, but he wasn't on the trade block, though. That just came out of left field. You know what I mean?
Apparently he was, since he was.
The longer they stay on the trade block and the more these rumors swirl, you start noticing. That these things just tend not to happen. Like, notice. I mean, that's something I've seen.
We'll see. We'll see this offseason. Hopefully another splash thing happens.
Maybe. There's another receiver that we haven't talked about that that ESPN is saying could be a trade target. It's Keon Coleman.
Guys, come on now.
Wow.
Stop it. I wouldn't mind him in another franchise, because the way they're treating him is just bad. Respectfully, I know he hasn't lived up to his draft stock, but come on. If you're gonna say that about your wide receiver, that it wasn't your guys' pick, it was the former head coach's pick, I don't want to be there either if I'm Keon Coleman.
I will say, though, he has every right to want out.
Yes. And if I do somehow miraculously become a franchise wide receiver, I'm asking for a trade as soon as I possibly can.
Another potential trade rumor that was from towards the end of last season was Joe Burrow. Some vague answers about his future at the end of the season. I remember one of our takes was that very Andrew Luck-esque. I think that's also nothing as well. I don't think that's going to turn into anything. Joe Burrow staying in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
No.
Not
That would be suicide, basically. I wouldn't
If they're not
consider
going to
that.
trade Hendrickson, they're not going to trade Burrow.
I would consider that almost like Luka Doncic getting traded to the Lakers type of thing. Like that would be the type of effects on Cincinnati, or at least the fans. Yeah. In terms of contract extensions, we kind of touched on a couple of them already. Gonzo, Witherspoon, JSN's up for one. Same with Puka. Here's a couple. So the entirety of the 23 draft are all eligible for contract extensions, which includes the number 1 and 2 pick of the draft, CJ Stroud and Bryce Young.
Neither are deserving of it right now. Though I will say Bryce Young did play well in the playoffs.
I think Bryce Young played well enough to get the extension, but like not a very great, like a team friendly extension.
I wouldn't go that far yet. I'd pick up his 5th-year option and then go from there.
Yeah, that too. Honestly, you could say the same thing about Stroud too. Like,
nope.
No.
After the way he just played in the offs, I can't do it. I can't. And it was just so opposite a year ago. And the way he just played now, no, I can't. 7 turnovers in 2 games.
That is pretty bad. And
he's been looking like this all season. He needs to play better before I can even think about I need him looking like the way he was his rookie season when everything was fine and dandy. Now, he has a quality defense. He has competent weapons. I understand the O-line's the O-line, but it was like that your rookie year. So it's just, nah. I got to see more out of him.
Also without Tank Dell as well, and Christian Kirk is also a free agent.
Yeah, and they need to sign Christian Kirk before he goes. They need to re-sign him.
His market value is only 5.3.
Yeah, he did come off a down year. As far as like you mentioned with CJ Stroud possibly getting an extension, the worst part is if you're Houston, you actually kind of have to, you know?
Yeah.
And the Panthers, they also they actually have to, you know, they traded up to take Young as well. But is it that crazy to insinuate that Bryce Young might deserve it a little more than Stroud?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Bryce Young never made it to the divisional round of the playoffs.
But he also gave.
The thing is, I have a question. Did CJ Stroud actually like make it, or did his defense drag him there?
No. His first season, he made it there. His first season.
No, you're right. But my question is like now, but what has he done since his first season? Because I have his numbers in front of me, and he has continually gotten worse. I genuinely think, and Chris and I think we're talking about it at one point, that the league, I low-key think, just might have figured him out. That happens to quarterbacks. And I think
didn't he play a part in helping beat the Chargers in the wild card round?
I mean, the main story was Herbert throwing 4 interceptions that game, I think, too.
Again, he didn't shoot them in the foot. He didn't shoot themselves in the foot. I lied.
Did he really shell out QB1 money for he didn't shoot them in the foot?
Actually, that's a lie. He did turn the ball over, if I remember correctly. He did do that.
Yeah, but you understand what I mean, though, right? Do you really shell out that kind of money because not shooting them in the foot? Do you know what that screams to me? Game manager.
And he's not, and he has more potential than game manager. We've seen that.
But I don't know.
Where is it? I don't know. Someone has to get to him this offseason and like, hey, it's time to go to work.
Yeah, definitely.
Lock him in a room with Tom Brady and just see if any greatness can rub off on him.
Maybe.
Actually, no. Brady's an owner. He can't. Well, he can do whatever he wants.
Breeze.
Honestly,
Let him talk to Breeze and see how well that goes.
Talk to Matt Schaub, Texas legend.
No. Matt
whoa,
picks
whoa, 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 whoa. Matt Schaub, he was like legit for a few years. Come on now.
He was.
So were his interceptions.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go dog. Bijan's also up for an extension.
He's gonna
Hand
get
to
it.
him. Jameer Gibbs, hand it to him. Devon Achane, I think you got to give it to him.
Jack Campbell, I think maybe. I actually like Jack
he's
Campbell,
very
but Jameer Gibbs is also up, so you got to figure that out.
Yeah,
well, they're both first round picks. So.
Laporta as well. Laporta's another one.
Hmm.
Brian Branch, he's
Zay
also up for
Flowers.
extendo.
Oh, Gonzalez for New England too. Oh, and
Yeah,
Witherspoon for Seattle.
I know I touched on those.
Yeah, Zay's up
Sorry,
for
I
us as
wasn't
well.
paying attention.
It's okay. It's okay, Pookie.
Don't call me that ever. I swear to God.
I just did. What are you gonna do about it?
You're gonna find it.
Save it for later, guys.
Tuck, you gonna give Zay Flowers an extendo?
I was going to say no before this season, but after the season, low key, considering the circumstances he's been dealing with Lamar in and out of the lineup and with Cooper Rush in at quarterback, yeah, I think he's deserving of it. Over 1,100 yards, quality both with and without Lamar. His stats just went down because Lamar was just out of the lineup. Yeah,
he doesn't have a fumbling problem though. Is like the only bad thing I'll say about him.
If outside of that fumbling problem, if he can just tighten that up a little bit, I have no problem with giving him that extension. But we have to focus on Lamar first before we can even thinking about an extension.
And Linderbaum.
Yes, him too.
Also, for New England, we mentioned Gonzo. Keyshawn Boutte is from that class as well, and Demario Douglas. So I think that, and after that year, then you're going to look at Drake May. So, and with Gonzo in that class before May, at least when you look at Boutte and Douglas in that big picture, because obviously Gonzo and May are the most pressing, right? And then you got Boutte and Douglas kind of orbiting that. I genuinely think a decision might have to be made between them.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely going to be hard. I think it's going to be really hard if Boutte has a real breakout year next year. It's definitely going to be hard to make that decision. Yeah. All right. Cool. I think we've touched on essentially everything that we possibly could.
Do we want to throw like a second or two towards the draft or no?
Yeah, we can. I mean, number one pick's just going to go to Vegas, or Vegas has number one pick, and they're just going to pick Fernando.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's it for that's it for the drafts. But
this is a weird draft, man. This is like, and I think I've said this to you before. There's no difference this year between picking at 2 and picking at 10. And once Dante Moore decided to stay at Oregon, the Jets, who are number 2, needed a quarterback. They're screwed. And usually I would say, hey, this is a year where you trade down. But let's say a trade, it takes 2 to tango here. Who's going to be trading up? And are you really going to say, oh yes, I must get Arvell Reese?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Mamigoa.
Maybe you could get like one of the teams outside of the top 10 to trade up. That would maybe be my guess. Maybe you could swing.
Who's going to be that much of a needle mover like off the rip though?
You could trick Dallas into doing so. I mean, look, like the Jets also still have obviously the Jets aren't going to be the one giving up that much for giving up a second rounder. They're going to be getting, or second overall pick. They're going to be getting the majority of what's coming. But like they also have 2 picks that are in the top 16. So they kind of are able to play around with what they have on top of the other obscene amount of picks that the Jets have as well. So they're not in a bad spot, but as you mentioned, like for what it is in this coming draft, it's not the greatest spot to be in.
Yeah. And once again, I said it before. I need everyone at home to understand there's literally no difference between picking at 2 and 10. In fact, I'm willing to go a step further. There are only 2 prospects in this entire draft that I would describe as like true, like blue chip level players. There's literally just 2. And I don't expect either of them to go in the top 5 because their positions aren't that highly valued.
Yeah.
And in case you're wondering, it's Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love and Ohio State safety Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
I don't view anyone else as like a true like blue chipper.
And you don't think Caleb Downs is going top 10?
I do. I think I haven't done a mock draft yet. I know I'm a useless chud, and I should probably get on that. But if I'm gonna ballpark it, I think he goes probably 10 to Cincy because safeties
they can't pass up on Cincy.
No, that's where I think he would end up going. However, I have this weird gut feeling that the Giants might take a swing on him because he strikes me as a Harbaugh type of guy, and pairing him and Javon Holland would be scary hours over there. And as for Jeremiah Love, I think he's going in the top 10, either 8 or 9 to the Saints or the Chiefs because they need a running back. Saints, Kamara's aging, and the Chiefs, you're losing both Hunt and Pacheco, and I'm sorry. I know we all like to say, oh, Isaiah Pacheco's so quirky and funny. Look at how he runs. He's not an RB1. He's just not.
Yeah, if you give Kansas City Eric Reed and Eric Bieniemy, Jeremiah Love, that's a problem.
Yeah. Bit of breaking news that just happened now. Patriots are moving defensive coordinator Terrell Williams to a high-ranking role on the staff, which opens up the defense coordinator position for the New England Patriots.
They're just going to promote linebackers coach Zach Core, I'd imagine.
Yeah, he was named in the Ian Rappaport tweet as a top candidate, which I wouldn't be surprised because he basically ran the defense from week 3 on till the Super Bowl.
He stepped in, and I think he did a great job.
Yeah, he can be the DC because he did.
I'm just glad they kept Williams, though, because Williams is a dog, and they seem to motivate him.
Yeah. Back to the draft. Anything else you guys want to touch on in terms of the draft?
Nah, it just seems like we're missing a lot of like quality pieces. Like it's not the same as it was before. It's like it's missing something. Like the best pass rusher of this draft is Reuben Bain, and everyone keeps talking about his T-Rex arms.
Yeah, and the thing is, there are a few pieces there. Like he might even be the best pass rusher. The biggest question mark right now is I would say it's Arvell Reese, who's projected to go 2. He reminds me of like Trayvon Walker, where he's got coverage upside. He can rush the passer, but he's just kind of being drafted more for the fact that he's a physical freak. He's a athletic monster. Like that's really what he's going to need to be developed. Like I said, so he's like a Trayvon Walker type of deal. Wide receivers, I think are okay, but a lot of positions, and I'm specifically talking about quarterback and running back, where there's a clear-cut number 1, and then it's like everyone else. My QB2, and I imagine it's yours too, is Ty Simpson from Alabama. The gap between Mendoza and Simpson is huge. And the only bigger gap is between, like I said, I mentioned Jeremiah Love earlier. We don't even know who RB2 is. There's a very real shot Jeremiah Love goes in the top 10, and we don't see another running back get taken until round 3.
Yeah.
It's a shame too, and you're right because I was thinking like maybe there were some guys but no.
There's like Jonah Coleman, Emmett Johnson, Nicholas Singleton. Like I don't see any of them as being worthy to go in round 2, honestly. And this is a very weird like interior class. It's very like for like centers and guards, it's very top heavy because for guards you've got Olava Vega Ione and Emmanuel Pregnon and Chase Basantis, and then after that I really don't know. I mean, there are some guys that I think are worth taking like a late round flyer on, but nobody that I would spend a blue chip pick on except for Ione. And center, I don't think we're going to see a center go in round 1 or 2.
That's fine by me as long as the Penn State old lineman is there and I can get rid of Daniel Falele. We're good. We're good, buddy.
Another team I wanted to touch on is the Giants because I think they're in an interesting spot. Where projected right now is Carnell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State. And from what we've seen out of Ohio State receivers, you may want to take them, but I feel like that they should also kind of prioritize the line as well. So right now, as it is, Francis
Mauigoa.
Mauigoa is going number
Yeah.
3. Spencer Fano is projected to go pick after Carnell Tate, number 6 to the Browns. I feel like potentially you might have to take a flyer at 5 on a tackle.
Maybe. The thing with receiver is, Malik Neighbors tore his ACL. Maybe it's the start of something bad. Maybe it's a one-off. It could be either, especially when they're young. It either means you're going to be injury prone or it's just like a freak accident,
Yeah.
But I don't think, look, Malik Neighbors, I don't think he's going to become injury prone. I highly doubt it. He just doesn't strike me as that type of guy. I know it's not something they can control, but you get what I mean.
That was his first real big injury too.
Yeah, exactly.
First injury period.
But the thing for me, the key for the Giants is Wan'Dale Robinson. He had a breakout year, his first 1,000-yard year, and he's a free agent. I think whatever happens with him is going to be indicative on whether or not they take a wide receiver. If he stays, they don't. If he leaves, they might. And also, knowing John Harbaugh, I can see him taking defense. I could see him taking Caleb Downs because he just seems like a Harbaugh guy.
I like it. All right. I think we've talked a good deal of what's to come for the offseason and the draft. That's all the scheduled content that we have for you today. Anything else that's on your guys' mind?
Nope.
No, not really.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in for another Tuesday episode of the Friday episode of the Fumblerooski podcast. A new episode coming out on Tuesday at 8 a.m. And we be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also have all our episodes available on all streaming platforms. Be sure to follow our Instagram, Fumblerooski_podcast, to keep up the pod and the latest coverage on the NFL. Otherwise, Justin Tucker, CJ Medeiros, I'm Chris Costich. We'll see you on Tuesday. Over and out.